Welcome to Puvanur RVIR Laya Academy of Music and Mathematics. Welcome to Puvanur RVIR Laya Academy of Music and Mathematics. We are in the last episode of Misra, Jathi, Jampa, Thalam. I'm going to teach you a couple of Morahs and couple of new korvais in addition to what you have learned in level 3 as part of the basic learnings. As I already told you, all these things can be adapted to Ganda Chapathalam as well, because which is a subset of 10 beats, 5 beat cycle. Before I get into the class, I will start this class with the Quran. பிறர்க்கு இன்னா முற்பகல் செய்யின் தமக்கு இன்னா பிற்பகல் தாமே வரும் ஒரு நாளில் முற்பகலில் ஒருவருக்கு தீங்கு செய்தால், if you do an harmful act in the forenoon, what the ruler states it, you will be affected in the afternoon with the same with the effect in some way or other. செய்தவர்க்கு தீங்குகள் அன்று பிற்பகலுக்குள் தாமாகவே வந்து சேரும். So you need to ensure that you never ever do harmful act to anyone. With this good thought, we will enter into the class. We are now in the last episode of Misra, Jathi, Jampa, Thalam. We have seen very interesting patterns. I have taught you different creative ideas. I wish all of you use these and try and experiment similar patterns with whatever the learnings you have undergone so far and enrich your skills. Today I am going to teach you a couple of new Morah korvais. We saw the basic Morah korvai as we were learning in level 3. Level 2 and level 3 I taught you some basic Morah korvai, which are very traditional. You can use it all the time when you are playing, but this is more for increasing your vocabulary. So the few things which I think are very important that you should learn is Tadikita tunta dum. Tarikata tikata tungada tikata tarikata tikata tunta tikita tunta dum. Tarikata tikata anga tinta tum. Tadikita tunta dum. Tarikata tikata tungada tikata tarikata tikata tunta tikita tunta dum. Tarikata tikata anga tinta tum. Tadikita tunta dum. Tarikata tikata tungada tikata tarikata tikata tunta tikita tunta dum. Tarikata tikata anga dum. Tunta tikita tunta dum. Tarikata tikata anga dum. Tunta tikita tunta dum. Tarikata tikata anga tinta tum. Taranga tinta tum. Taranga tinta tum. This is one of the Morah which is very popular. A lot of people play this. This is the one which I taught you when you in Ganda Chapel as well as in Misra Jampa in level 2 and level 3. Now, today I am going to teach you few additional Morahs which will be of quite handy to you and which interesting as well. The first Morah what I am going to teach you is very simple. The only thing here you have to understand is how I have positioned the phrases for the 5 beats. Because it's 10 beats, I positioned is, I used the phrases Tom kita taka tari kita taka twice. Tom kita taka tari kita taka is 1.5 beats, which is 6 syllables. So again I have repeated twice, so it's 1.5 beats plus 1.5 is 3 beats. Tit thang is 2 beats. Tit thang is 2 beats. So 3 plus 2 is 5 beats. That's the phrase I fixed myself first. So whenever you're going to do something structure, you should try to fix a particular structure first, and then you have to build on it. Here I've constructed this, and then subsequently I've built a very larger Morah using this phrase. So that's the way you have to go carry forward in your future for doing any complex Morah. It's say for example Sangirna Jadi Dhruva Thalam or Sangirna Jadi Madhya Thalam, or you want to do Misra Jadi Adathalam. If somebody comes up with a Pallavi with a very technical aspect with a Gandanadai, Misra Gadi, or if they come out with something, you have to calculate first and ensure that how you can actually construct a Morah. But before constructing a Morah, what are all the building pieces for constructing the Morah? Those are the elements you should first of all understand. Once when you get the grasp of it, you will be able to do any constructions. So that's important. So that's why these learnings are all happening when you're learning the very early stage, how to construct small things. Now today, you have learned this, so using the whole phrase, this is how it should be played. That's how it should be played. The korvai I am going to choose is again a beautiful reduction, assembling of phrases in a beautiful way. It systemically gets reduced. Let's look at it. This is how I am going to construct the phrases, and I am going to tell it continuously. The next time I am going to weed off the first part. So the next time when I am using the phrase, I will weed off the first phrase and the second phrase. Is removed. So the way the korvai is constructed here is these are the blocks I am going to use for construction of korvai. What I did is use these reduced phrases. I've kept it in the right place. In between, I've interluded with tham tadik kitatum, tham tadik kitatum, tham tadik kitatum, and beautifully finished with tadik kitatum korvai itself. Tadik kitatum takitta, tadik kitatum takitta, tadik kitatum. The whole structure goes like this. Tadik That's how this korvai is structured. Another point I want to tell is whenever you're playing the last part, give a pause, or it should be a very easy phrase for the singer to take. It gives when you give the pause, you will be able to regroup himself because he needs to think back, because you're going to join after some while. He has to get to the raga mood, he has to get to the stage to recite that phrase. And for him, that facilitates when you take a tempo which is very comfortable phrase. So I suggest you take simple phrases when you're constructing it, especially the later half, especially before you play the solo and finishing it. When you're playing in the actual Tanayavardhanam, you can show your expertise in having different combinations. That's perfectly fine. But after the Morah, when you play the korvai, as far as possible, ensure that you have a perfect sync with the team. The second Morah what I'm going to teach you today is again a different construct. This is a combination of tha tharidana kedatega tari kedatega tham kedatega tari kedatega. Tha tharidana kedatega tari kedatega is 2.5 beats. Tham kedatega tari kedatega is 1.5 beats. Two odds I'm combining now. Two odds in terms of beats. 2.5 plus 1.5 makes it 4. Again, normally when you combine odd and odd, you get an even number. So using this phrase, this construct, I'm going to make a Morah out of it. So especially the morahs has to be faster, the phrases has to be chiseled, it should be clear, and it should have the flourish. If all these are happening in a right way, then it has a beautiful crescendo. So that's the second Morah for you. The korvai I have constructed very again sequentially. It's a little larger korvai. I have intentionally made it larger for you to make the memory part of it and concentration aspect of it should be clear. This construction goes like this. Taddi takadina takadina tom. Taddi takadina takadina tom. Tit takadina takadina tom. Tit takadina takadina tom. Takadina takadina tom. Takadina takadina tom. Takadina tom. Takadina tom. Takadina tom. Takadina tom. Dina tom. Dina tom. 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 Ta. Di. Ki. Ta. Thum. Ta. Di. Ki. Ta. Thum. Ta. Di. Ki. Ta. Thum. Ta. Di. Ki. Ta. Ta. Di. Ki. Ta. Ta. Di. Ki. Ta. Ta. So that's how it's structured. The only thing is once when you start with tadit takadina takadina tham, when you start this phrase, it's a sequential reduction. Tit takadina takadina, takadina takadina, takatakadina, takadina, dina, tham. So that's how it's structured. Slowly you have to play each phrase two times, and towards the end you have to play with the traditional 60 aksharas of ta, di, ki, ta, tum. That's how it is structured. That's how this korvai is structured. This is very big, but it's not necessary you have to play this big. When you get a chance, you can choose a very simple korvai like tadita, tadikita tadita, tadikita tanta, tadikita tanta, tadikita tanta, tadikita tanta. You can play this. If you want to repeat 3 times, I will teach you whatever I have taught you earlier. You can use that phrase as well. Tadita, tadikita tadita, tadikita tanta, tadikita tanta, tadikita tanta, di taditaga, tadikita taditaga, tadikita tataga, tadikita 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 tata, di taditaga, tadikita taditaga, tadikita tataga, tadikita 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 tata. Here the beauty is it's a progression. First time when you are using tadithang tadikitatum. Second time when you use taditaha tadikitatum. When the third time when you use tadithagang tadikitatum. So 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7. So the beats goes from 10, 12 and 14. 10 plus 12 plus 14 adds up to 36, but you have 40 beats in 10 into 4 is 40 beats. So you have to give a korvai of 2 beats in between. 36 plus 4 makes it 40. So you can make it very interesting when you are demoing for a RTP, Ragam, Thalam, Pallavi, by playing all these different 3 varieties and then do a filler. That's your creativity. So I'm concluding this class with the Thirukural. I'll see you in the next class with a new Thalam, Misra Jathi Tripata Thalam, 11 beat cycle. It will be more an adaptation of whatever you've learned in Misra Jathi Jampa to in how you can fit it with a small change. Because that also you should know. When you're playing from 8 to 9, when you know Adi Thalam, when you're going to play Kanda Jathi Tripata Thalam, you should know it because it's a small shift, paradigm shift is small. So you should know how to adapt that. So it's relational. As you read it relational, as you can map it with one to other, it's easier for you. No, because as the vocabulary grows, you should be relational. Once when it's relational, you can adapt it very quickly. So that technique I'll teach you in the next class. நோயெல்லாம் நோய் செய்தார் மேலவாம் நோய் செய்யார் நோயின்மை வேண்டுபவர் பிற உயிர்களுக்கு துன்பம் செய்பவரையே துன்பம் வந்தடையும். If you do an harmful act to someone, the same thing will come to you. Isn't it true that Newton's third law, for every action there is equal and opposite reaction? If you put a ball with a force against the wall, the ball comes back with the same force. Similarly, if you do a good act, you're going to get blessed with the same good deeds to you. If you're going to do a harmful act, the equation never fails. You're going to get the harmful act to yourself. ஆதலால் துன்பம் இல்லாமல் வாழ விரும்புபவர் எவ்வுயிர்க்கும் துன்பம் செய்தல் கூடாது. If you want to be away with all sins or ill effects, you should first be righteous and follow the good path without doing any harmful act to others. With this good thought, I'm concluding this class. I'm also happy to let you know that we have concluded Misra Jathi Jampa Thalam. I'll be starting in the next class the review and introspection of Misra Jathi Tripata Thalam, which is 11 beat cycle. We will as usual go over for all the sections what sort of korvais we can adapt. I'm going to take it very, very simple because Misra Jampai and Misra Jathi Tripata Thalam is just 1 beat away. I'm going to teach you a technique in Misra Jathi Tripata Thalam of how you can shift the same korvai slightly from making from 10 to 11 beats so that it's easier for you to remember. That's number 1. Number 2 is, and it also shows, it builds your skill of adapting from one thala to other thala, how easily you can adapt. This technique I'll teach you in Misra Jathi Tripata Thala. Until then, Purna RVA signing off. Episode 6, Misra Jathi Jampa Thalam, Morah 1, Mathematical Understanding, total count of 160 aksharas. Interpretation of Morah goes like this. Tam kitateka darikateka tam kitateka darikateka daridana kitateka darikateka tam kitateka darikateka tam kitateka darikateka talangudin tattalangudum tam kitateka darikateka tam kitateka darikateka daridana kitateka darikateka tam kitateka darikateka tam kitateka darikateka talangudin tattalangudum tam kitateka darikateka tam kitateka darikateka daridana kitateka darikateka tam kitateka darikateka talangudum tam kitateka darikateka tam kitateka darikateka talangudum tam kitateka darikateka tam kitateka darikateka talangudin tattam. Episode 6, Misra Jathi Jampa Thalam, Korvai 1, Mathematical Understanding, total count of 80 aksharas. Interpretation of Korvai goes like this. Tit tankitateka darikateka tam kitateka darikateka darikateka tam tadi kitatum tam kitateka darikateka darikateka tam tadi kitatum darikateka tam tadi kitatum ta tadi kitatum ta kita tadi kitatum ta. Episode 6, Misra Jathi Jampa Thalam, Morah 2, Mathematical Understanding, total count of 160 aksharas. Interpretation of Morah goes like this. த தருதன கெட்டதக்கு தக்கு தரி கெட்டதக்கு தம் கிட்டதக்கு தரி கெட்டதக்கு த தருதன கெட்டதக்கு தக்கு தரி கெட்டதக்கு தம் கிட்டதக்கு தரி கெட்டதக்கு தலாங்குதின் தத்தலாங்குதும் த தருதன கெட்டதக்கு தக்கு தரி கெட்டதக்கு தம் கிட்டதக்கு தரி கெட்டதக்கு தத்தி தருதன கெட்டதக்கு தக்கு தரி கெட்டதக்கு தம் கிட்டதக்கு தரி கெட்டதக்கு தலாங்குதின் தத்தலாங்குதும் த தருதன கெட்டதக்கு தக்கு தரி கெட்டதக்கு தம் கிட்டதக்கு தரி கெட்டதக்கு தத்தி தருதன கெட்டதக்கு தக்கு தரி கெட்டதக்கு தம் கிட்டதக்கு தரி கெட்டதக்கு தலாங்குதின் தத்தாம் தத்தி தருதன கெட்டதக்கு தக்கு தரி கெட்டதக்கு தலாங்குதின் தத்தாம் தத்தி தருதன கெட்டதக்கு தக்கு தரி கெட்டதக்கு தலாங்குதின் தத்தாம் தலாங்குதின் தத்தாம் தலாங்குதின் தத்தாம். Episode 6 Misra Jathi Jampa Thalam Korvai 2 Mathematical Understanding. Total count of 200 aksharas. Interpretation of korvai goes like this. Taddi takadina takadinatam. Taddi takadina takadinatam. Tit takadina takadinatam. Tit takadina takadinatam. Takadina takadinatam. Takadina takadinatam. 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 Dinatam. Dinatam. Tam. Tam. Ta. Di. Ki. Ta. Dum. 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 Ta.